When it comes to the brand Lorenzo Pazzaglia, I've reviewed a couple of their fragrances already. Sweet Explosion, which I did recently. And then there's also Sugar Kisses, which is this beautiful gourmand fragrance that I discovered towards the tail end of last year. It's an amazing gourmand, perfect for the colder weather, super long lasting as well. If you're a fan of spices, specifically black pepper and pink pepper, we have a real treat for you today. This one is called Carbonara. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on it, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Carbonara by Lorenzo Pazzaglia, I'll tell you about the smell, performance, longevity, comparisons, all that good stuff. But before I begin, I want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up as well for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. And I also have Summer Hammer in my collection. So that's one that I acquired recently as well. If you want me to do a review on that one, drop your comment down below right now, and I will put that up there in my priority list so that I can try to get to it sooner rather than later, despite the fact that I think it's great for the hotter weather, but that's besides the point. Carbonara, pink pepper, black pepper, smoke, oud, incense, vanilla, amber, coconut, sugar. This sounds like an amazing fragrance with some sweet tendencies, but it is on the spicier side of things, and for that reason I think it's one that you can pull off in the colder weather that is not necessarily a gourmand option from the brand. I'm going to be telling you all about this fragrance and what I think of the smell. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get this creamy and spicy personality. There is black pepper, there is pink pepper, and those two ingredients intermingle with a touch of smoke, and it does actually smell a bit incensey at times. I'm having a hard time saying it smells like myrrh, whether it's bitter myrrh or the sweet variety known as a Papanax, although perhaps I am getting a bit of a sweetness from it, but I'm convinced the sweetness is coming from the vanilla, the amber, the sugar, and the coconut, because all of those ingredients or accords tend to have a bit of a sweet nature to them. But here what we're dealing with is something that is a bit creamy, quite spicy. There is a touch of a floral tendency, I think jasmine, but it's not anything too strong or noticeable in this fragrance. But then you also have agarwood and some other woodsy ingredients anchoring the base and creating that long-lasting personality that in my experience I have found in every single one of Lorenzo Pazzaglia's fragrances. This is a beautiful spicy fragrance, and as somebody who loves fragrances like Epic for Men by Amouage, and then of course there's also not Memoir, that's the one that has the wormwood in it, but there's another one that's quite spicy from the brand that has a lot of pepper from what I'm remembering. Might actually be Epic. If it comes to me, I'll mention it. As somebody who comes from that side of things, I love spicy fragrances. Even Imperial Crown by Thamin London, which is a bit on the smoky and balsamic side of things, I just really enjoy. The Spice Groove Escape by Xerjoff. But if I had to say there's one other spicy fragrance that this one smells similar to, it would be V by Clive Christian. This is a fragrance that does have a lot of similar notes. There is smoke, there is pink pepper, there's black pepper, there's elemi resin, there's vanilla, there's amber, there's oud. You'll be surprised, the two fragrances have a lot of ingredients in common, but what I would say about the Clive Christian is it's more on the smoky, incensey side of things. This is more on the creamy, slightly sweet, warm side of things, but that incense or that sort of a elemi resin and pepper combination is so iconic that when you smell it, you're like, yep, that's exactly what I'm smelling here. I know there's also an Etat Libre d'Orange fragrance that possesses a similar DNA of like resins and spices, and I keep smelling it and I'm like, the name is on the tip of my tongue, but there are just way too many to count. Nevertheless, if you're looking for a beautiful, rich, super high quality, spicy, resinous, elemi resin type of a fragrance, and you're a fan of Italian perfumery, you've tried other fragrances from Lorenzo Pazzaglia, you know how amazing Sugar Kisses smell. smells. You've tried Sweet Explosion, Summer Hammer, all of these other phenomenal fragrances from the brand. If you've yet to try Carbonara, you have to try this one. Spicy fragrance lovers will rejoice over this fragrance. I can't get enough of it. I'll probably make it my scent of the day tomorrow. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this fragrance, in my opinion, is unique. Of course, I made one comparison throughout the course of this video. I also mentioned some other spicy fragrances that I have in my collection that I love, but this one doesn't smell similar to them at all. And the overall smell is a little bit on the daring side of things. I think because it's not as sweet as something like Sweet Explosion or Sugar Kisses, I don't think this one is going to have the same level of mass appeal, but it's not daring in any sense of that word. It's not a fragrance where you spray too much on and you're like, oh, I think I overdid it. Like, the smell is just so attractive and so magnetic that I think people will love it. Nevertheless, it's just a little bit on the daring side of things. Daring but not challenging, if that makes sense. In terms of the longevity, 10 plus hours on skin. Projection was phenomenal for the first hour and a half of application, radiated beyond an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 8, a skin scent right around hour 10 or 11, depending on your skin chemistry. In terms of the versatility for this one, great for the colder weather, fall and winter, especially because of the spices and the resins. And of course, this one is perfectly unisex, great for dressed up scenarios. And I think this one would appeal to somebody a little bit older as opposed to a high school student who shops at Sephora or Macy's. And nothing wrong with that, of course. I shop at Macy's multiple times a month, admittedly enough, but nevertheless, these are just recommendations. Wear what you want, wear what makes you happy. And as far as the overall presentation is concerned, I love the way that it looks. I love the different graphics. This one is a bit on the shinier side of things, which I really do like. And the names are quite quirky as well. Sugar Kisses, Sweet Explosion, Summer Hammer. It always opens up your imagination. My final verdict on Carbonara is it's an amazingly well done, spicy fragrance with resins. Please check it out. And once again, don't forget to drop your comments down below. Let me know, do you have any favorites from Lorenzo Pazzaglia? If you do, I would love to hear from you. Those are the 4 that I own. Do you think I should add any others to my collection? Should I be looking into any other fragrances from the brand? If you think I should, let me know. I will definitely check them out. I will do my due diligence. I will research them. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up. It's free, but it helps me so much. Thanks again for watching. I love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.